It's never a case of if, but always when, until the next big thing that breaks, arc, or destroys players' progress. And this recent update is one of the more significant issues, with players losing hundreds of creatures in cryopods. And a lot of it comes down to communication. And speaking of, there's signs that the next part of the animated series may be delayed, but Easter will be on time. Welcome back, survivors. A very bad start to the weekend, with Wildcard in Wildcard fashion putting out an update late on Friday that has resulted in many players' weekends being ruined. Let's find out what's been happening this week. As always, survivors, if you want to keep up with all the latest art news, please do subscribe. So it started with Wildcard fixing the wind turbine decay timer to be 14 days as intended, as the major update they did several weeks ago changing the wind turbines of course wasn't implemented properly, so they had to put out a fix. They also then fixed an issue with cryofridfges power state not being updated until you access its inventory, and then on top of this they opened Cryos transfers, which plays its own part in the ruined weekend. From this point on, chaos ensued as players were experiencing major losses in their cryofridges, with hundreds of cryos being dead when accessing the inventory even when it was powered or power was restored. This resulted in some players losing everything in multiple cryofridges. Wildcard put out a public apology stating that they should have communicated these changes in advance to give players the opportunity to prepare themselves for it. But Wildcard communication sucks, we all know this. However, I do have a lot of appreciation for their detailed explanations and apologies that they've been giving out recently. This is something that has always been very far and few between. They then disabled transfers to be able to assess the situation and how much data had been lost and how much of an issue a rollback would cost. Now, we all know that rollbacks are not a simple decision in Ark because of various factors that have to be taken into consideration, and quite often a rollback will result in a lot more issues and losses than the initial problem would have resulted in. But of course, opening the Cryos transfers at the same time that this patch went out meant that a lot of players that have been waiting for Cryos transfers for the last 2 months were ready and eager to do their transfers. And so when this all happened, everyone was transferring. So because they're in the middle of transferring, people have their survivors and gear and dinos and everything uploaded. It meant that a rollback was not possible. Now, this is something I can understand, and I appreciate the very difficult decision that had to be made. Wildcard's only real compensation offer in situations like this is pretty much rates increase. I can't see what else they can offer beyond that or rollback. And although some form of compensation is appreciated, it's difficult to feel positive about it when players have lost hundreds of tames in cryopods that have taken months to breed, to then get an extra 1 times rates for a few days. But then again, Nitrado's not so great servers experience stress when rates are too high for prolonged periods. It's a never-ending cycle of problems. It's something I fear will never change based on 10 years history of Ark. I honestly do feel they need to bring back the public test realm that they did in the early days of Ark Ascended. This is where they would bring out a public test realm on Steam. Is a different branch that players can join and test out the new update that's going to be coming out to the official network, so they can identify issues and fixes beforehand. Now, I think Wildcard used it once or twice for Ark Ascended and then abandoned it. I think people weren't using it enough, or they weren't using it correctly, but Wildcard decided it's not worth it. But I do feel it needs to come back and it needs to be used. Nothing is going to change if Wildcard don't start doing things differently than what they've been doing for the last 10 years. Now, in other news, there are signs that the animated series Part 2 that's supposed to be coming out in 2 months is going to be pushed back to the end of the year. A while back, I believe it was during the Extra Life event, Jeremy said they were planning on releasing the second part to coincide with Ark's 10th anniversary, which would be on June 2nd. Recently, I was shared the content of an email supposedly from Jeremy to an individual regarding the release. Now, I will state here that at no point has this content been confirmed as authentic, but there are signs it is, and I'm waiting to see if Jeremy himself can clarify it for me. The email stated that the release won't be June 2025, and that they are working hard on it, but it's taking much longer due to the complexity of it, and that they are targeting the tail end of the year for a release with Paramount. The email was signed off with Jeremy Stieglitz and the PS underneath stating that nothing said in the email is considered confidential. Now, although the email does sound like what Jeremy would say, it was the image provided that adds a sense of legitimacy to it. This was the image Jeremy supposedly provided with the email. This is not an image that has been shared by Jeremy or Wildcard at any point. The image looks genuine, it's in the same art style as the animated series is. Now, I've reached out to Jeremy publicly with this, asking him if it's authentic, and I'm hoping that he'll respond publicly so that everybody can see whether that is actually what's happening. So let's just wait and see if he does respond. And if this is genuine and Jeremy responds saying yes, he sent that email, then that means Wildcard know right now it's not coming in the next 2 months. But there's no word on it, no official announcement about it. And finally, Easter's Eggcellent adventure is going to be on time, with it starting on Wednesday 16th. In addition to multiple new event skins being added this time round, and with it being on servers not just Club Arc, they are adding something special to Club Arc, an Easter egg hunt. Players will have to hunt down 20 different Easter eggs hidden throughout Club Arc, using the in-game photo mode to take screenshots of your character next to the egg with the number of the egg visible in the shot. Players can then submit all 20 screenshots in a private thread on the official Arc Discord for a chance to win the Arc Animated Series Skins cosmetic pack and a copy of Bob's Tall Tales. I do think it's great that they are doing little things like this for the events and stuff. I think little challenges and games like this is a fantastic thing for the community. It may not make up for any of the issues that Arc experiences or any of the big issues like we've just seen. It may not make up for any of that, but I still think little things like this are actually really good for the game. That's all the news for today, survivors. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to keep updated.